All right, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Chamber Chat. I'm your host, Jeff Griffin, President of the Peoria Area Chamber of Commerce and the CEO Council. And you are on peorialife.com. And we have another great show for you to learn more about our community and another business and kind of different than we normally do. Mind Oasis is our business. The owner of Mind Oasis, Amy Fisher,
Hi.
is with us today. Amy, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So Amy is a licensed clinical social worker. We were talking before we went on the air here. I also used to be a licensed independent social worker. Was my deal, and spent many years in a great many years in juvenile corrections and so forth. And Amy was wondering how I ended up in chamber industry. We still have group dynamics and a lot of mental health issues that we deal with across the entire community. So it's nonprofit work, and it's been a great career for me. So tell us about Mind Oasis, Amy.
Well, I started Mind Oasis counseling actually a year ago in October. And I opened it specifically to focus on the needs of women and children. I do see males as well, but it's specifically women and children. So it's this serene location where when they enter, it's just very peaceful. There's soft music playing. It smells wonderful. Everyone walks in and they say, "Oh, I love the smell of
We
your
should have gone there for this
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Although our studio here at Peoria Life's wonderful.
My couch is a little redder than your tie.
Oh, okay.
It's bright red,
I like
and
that.
I have a crystal chandelier above. So this is what the waiting room looks like. So they walk in and they simply just sit down. There's adult coloring books. There's wellness magazines. So they just can sit there. There's coffee. They can just relax until I come out to get them.
Gotcha.
So it's very easy.
1 year into, and tell us the location of your business.
We're 4507 North Sterling, which is near Northwoods Mall, actually
Gotcha.
right across from Donnelly's Irish Pub.
Gotcha. Well, perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where that is. Another great chamber member, by the way.
Yeah.
So, you've been in business for a year. Yeah. The first year in a new business obviously is crucial. What led you to open a business?
Well, I had worked for several different counseling practices throughout the years, and I realized that I wasn't able to do what I dreamed of doing. Because I had supervisors and other things.
They always get in the way.
Yeah, and I believe in certain ethical things that I wanted to make sure happen in the community.
Okay.
I have big dreams, and I'm accomplishing it now. So I'm able to have yoga classes for women and children. I'm able to do adult and child therapy groups. I have a play therapy room in my office. That's actually, there's a nice mirror or a window that's directly across from the women's counseling office. And so while busy moms, don't always want to pay for sitters or they can't leave their kids, the kids can play in the room that's literally right across the hall, very close, and they can talk with me in a confidential setting, but we still keep an eye on the children.
Gotcha. I want to make sure our viewers understand this, and I'm fortunate that I understand it because I went through it. Social work, in this case, Amy has a master's degree, and a licensed clinical social worker it's a rigorous education and training. So sometimes I think people think of counseling and just thinking of psychologists and psychiatrists, and that stuff's great. But licensed clinical social worker, Amy is licensed by the state to provide services for the community, mental health services. Yeah. And you mentioned your priority is women and children. Yeah. And I don't know if we all know, but people need to recognize there's this concept of the feminization of poverty, right? So the stay-at-home mom, not the stay-at-home mom, the single mom who's trying to make a living and get some support is a huge priority, right? Yeah. So emphasis on that, your past practice led you to that?
Yeah. I originally started when I was getting my bachelor's degree. I was a case aide for children who were going through foster care systems. Okay. And I realized then I wanted to do something in prevention to help the situation before it got worse. Unfortunately, there's not lots of dollars for prevention in the state. So then I said, well, what can I do? So I got involved in counseling the best I could. And I spent time in social services agencies growing programs for kids with behavioral problems. So at that point, it was such a blessing because I got trained in lots of parenting programs. So I can help the parents actually come up with strategies and techniques so they don't have to yell and they don't feel their lives are unmanageable.
Exactly right. So, folks, we're here with Amy Fisher, owner of Mind Oasis. And Amy's had Mind Oasis open for about a year, a licensed clinical social worker, and focusing on women and children. And so, what are some of the I don't know, techniques, or techniques is the wrong word, isn't it?
No, it's fine. It's different strategies and techniques. I use modalities. I use cognitive behavioral therapy. I've been trained in that. I use acceptance and commitment therapy, dialectical therapy, and a lot of mindfulness. And then I do some, people could say they're more new age, where it's a lot of where they close their eyes, relax, and I do guided imagery.
Okay.
So, which is really about healing past wounds and hurts. So a lot of people benefit from that. In fact, I'm going tomorrow to a women's group for postpartum depression, and I'm going to do a guided imagery exercise.
Okay.
Very healing.
So your clients, you draw from walk-ins and then referrals from other agencies? How's that all work for your business?
So with my practice, I get my clients better. There's no problem. I don't have to make sure I'm maintaining a certain client to keep forever and ever. I don't believe in that. So I get my clients well, and they tell their friends.
Gotcha.
And they come to me. But I also have psychiatrists who refer to me because they see results. I have gynecologist offices, other physicians' offices referring.
Gotcha. So that's an important concept in mental health, and everyone, they're very unique in their needs and so forth. You mentioned a great deal of techniques you use. But this whole idea that you stay in counseling and you remain in counseling for years and years and years doesn't have to be that way.
No.
It may be that way for some, but talk a little bit about that, the length of time people are in therapy.
Yeah, so I have clients who I've seen for 2 years. That's not the general. But that's because we fix one problem and then we realize there's a huge other problem. So then we're working on those. So we're healing different things. So it could start off with a relationship problem and then go into parenting. There's just different things that happen along the way. But in general, most of my clients I see between 10 to 20 times, there's significant improvement. And so from going from weekly to monthly and then just checkups as needed.
Exactly. And that's the way people need to think about it. And, if you're in need or have a friend in need or someone you want to refer, how do folks find you at Mind Oasis?
So they just get on Facebook. They can go to, it's facebook.com//Mind Oasis Counseling or mindoasiscounseling.com. And you can make their appointments online.
Gotcha.
Which is really easy.
Very simple. And I think sometimes people think of it in terms of, if you had diabetes, you can't solve that without insulin, right? And if you have a situation, whether you mentioned postpartum depression, loss of job, adding a job, all these little hurdles we have in life, folks sometimes need somebody else other than a friend you're going out to have coffee with, and that's not this. And Amy is able to provide those services to our community.
Yeah, I definitely would like to elaborate on what you just said because
Please.
I am a gift, I would say, in that way, like a diary. So the problem with the diary is people can open you up and read you, right? If you're a diary. But with me, I'm bound to confidentiality. And I am there to team with the client to help them reach their individual goals. I am not bringing my bias to the table. I am not there to judge them, but I'm there to help them get where they want to be.
Right, as defined by the client. And it's a very important concept. And it hasn't always been that way in the field. The client drives the treatment plan with some strong guidance from professional. Yeah. And that's the part that's different. People may not always recognize. If someone comes to you for services and so forth, you guys tied in with the insurance? Let's get to because a lot of times, let's face it, that's a hardship for folks. So tell me about that.
Yeah, I do Blue Cross Blue Shield, Caterpillar. Those are probably the two main priorities. CAT also has an EAP program through Chestnut. So I'm on there. Health Alliance, United Healthcare, Cigna, Aetna. I'm on all of those. But then I also do a self-pay rate for clients as well.
All right. So folks can find out more about that at Mind Oasis. Did you say .com?
Yep.
Okay.
MindOasisCounseling.com.
MindOasisCounseling.com.
Yeah.
And, make the phone call, reach out. Amy obviously is passionate about the work she does, and we'll get you set up. You'd mentioned group. You're going to do a group tomorrow, postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Group therapy be very, very effective, obviously. Yeah. How much of your practice is group therapy? And what sort of group therapies do you have?
I would say 25% group. Right
Okay.
now, it's something I'm introducing clients to because they're kind of scared to do it because they don't want other people to know. There's still a stigma, especially since my practice is a lot of professionals. So they're worried about that confidentiality. And confidentiality is something I value with all of my heart. So it's a very strong piece of it. The last 2 groups we've done with women were on depression and anxiety. And then the children's group this week is going to focus on, it's next Wednesday, focuses on yoga and relaxation.
Yeah, see, so you have this holistic deal there of the yoga and the counseling and so forth. But, you mentioned confidentiality, and obviously that has to be top priority. I mean, Peoria's not large enough that we don't see each other, around town and so forth. But this is a real safe place at Mind Oasis where you can go in, have your confidentiality, and get your problem on the table or challenge on the table, and get some help with that.
Yeah.
Right. Community efforts. So you're part of the community.
Yeah.
You're part of the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
What other community efforts are you involved with?
I'm part of I've Decided, which you're pretty familiar with, I'm sure. So I came on, and actually they're having the I've Decided Motivational Conference coming up in January, and I'm one of the speakers. So I'm going to do a presentation on how to change your thoughts and change your life.
Okay.
So it's super exciting. And as a gift to anybody who's listening, if they sign up and reference that they heard about the conference through me, I will give you a free gift from Mind Oasis Counseling.
Oh, there you go. So let's get a quick plug in there for I've Decided. People can register. Do you know how off the top of your head?
I'veDecided.com.
Yeah, you can find
or
it.
.org, I believe.
Yeah, you can find it. We trust our viewers to be able to get it. If not, contact the Chamber. We'll get you in touch. So they register for the I've Decided Leadership Conference, and Amy, with the owner of Mind Oasis, will get you a free gift. And the free gift it's a secret. There's you have to register
there's shirts and bags and lots of
all
fun
kinds
things.
of goodies.
And I'll give away free yoga classes, a free therapy session, free paint nights. We do paint nights as well, therapeutic paint nights.
I like that.
Yeah.
I've Decided is a fantastic program. Very, very impressed with that. And very impressed with you, Amy. I'm glad we had a chance to visit here on Chamber Chat. And we're wrapping things up here. This 15 minutes just kind of flew by for us. What are your goals for your business?
I just want to continue to grow. I'll probably open a few more locations just to have a bigger space for the activities, the painting nights and those. But I'll still keep my current location, but I'd like to be able to offer services. I plan to write a few books coming up because I say a lot of the same things to clients that they find so helpful in parenting and just changing thoughts and lowering anxiety.
Gotcha.
So just giving them the resources at hand so they don't always have to feel like they have to pay for services, but if they can just do little things on their own time, then their treatment and their healing will go so much faster.
Yeah, well, you certainly have a lot of energy and passion about the subject.
Thank you.
And we appreciate what you're doing for our community. And folks, you can find Amy Fisher, owner of Mind Oasis. Go ahead and find them and reach out. If you're in need or have a friend in need, go ahead and contact Amy up at Mind Oasis. Thank you for joining us on Chamber Chat at PeoriaLife.com.